guys, this is Cindy from Cindy the Thrifty. Today we will have another lesson, and that is Grade 6 Science, Module 1, Quarter 1, Lesson 3, Factors Affecting Solubility. But before we will proceed, please don't forget to like and follow our page and share this video to your classmates and to your friends so that there are more people who can learn from our videos. So let's do the recap first. Our lesson 1 in Grade 6 Science is describing mixtures, and we already know that mixture is a combination of two or more substances, and that can be homogeneous or heterogeneous. A homogeneous mixture has a uniform composition, and you can't identify and you can't see its particle. For example, when you mix sugar into water, you cannot identify where is the water and where is the sugar because they already mix and they become a uniform composition, and that is a homogeneous mixture. While heterogeneous mixture has a non-uniform composition and you can still identify its particle, like when you make a fruit salad. Even though you mix them together, but still you can still identify that there is the apple, there is the oranges, and there is the banana, and that makes it a heterogeneous mixture. So that is the difference between the two. And our lesson 2 is about what is the difference of a solvent from a solute. So we already know that water is the universal solvent and water is a solvent, and while a solute is the one that is being dissolved in a solvent, while solvent is the one that dissolves the solute. So let's go to lesson 3, and that is factors affecting solubility. So what is solubility? Solubility is the maximum amount of a solute substance that will dissolve in a given amount of solvent at a specific temperature. So that is solubility, and there are 5 factors that affect the solubility. So first factor is a nature of solute and solvent. Second is temperature of solvent. Third is manner of stirring. Fourth is amount of solvent, and fifth is the size of a solute. So those were the 5 factors that affect solubility. So first, let's talk about the nature of the solute and the solvent. So solubility of a solute and a solvent depend on the nature of both the solute and the solvent. For example, so when you add water and sugar, when you add sugar into the water, so the sugar will be dissolved in the water by stirring it. And when you add nail polish into the acetone, you will see that the nail polish will be dissolved in the acetone. But when you add the sugar into the acetone, or when you add the nail polish into the water, it can't be dissolved. So we should observe the nature of the solute and the solvent. So that is our first factor of solubility. So it doesn't mean that the given substances or your solute, meaning if it is solute, it can be dissolved in a solvent. So it doesn't mean that whatever solvent you have, your solute can be dissolved in your solvent. So it depends on the nature of the solvent. The second factors that affect solubility is temperature of a solvent. So temperature affects the solubility of a solution, and raising the temperature will increase the solubility of a solute in a solvent. So for example, you will put powdered milk into the hot water. So when you stir it, it will be dissolved easily and quickly, right? Because you have a hot water. But when you dissolve it in the cold water, so there is a hard time stirring it, and there is a hard time mixing them together. So that is the temperature that affects the solubility, meaning when the temperature rises, your solubility will also, the solubility of the solute will also increase. The third factor that affects solubility is the manner of stirring. Of course, your manner of stirring will affect the solubility of a solute. For example, when you stir sugar into the water, when you stir them quickly, of course, it will be dissolved faster. But when you stir them slowly, of course, the dissolving of the sugar will be slow. So that's how the manner of stirring will affect on the solubility. The faster you stir it, the quicker it will be dissolved, and the slower you stir it, so the slower it will be dissolved. So that is our third factors that affect solubility. The fourth factor that affects solubility is the amount of solvent. This means that the more solvent you have, the faster your solute will be dissolved, and the less solvent you have, the slower your solute will be dissolved. What happened to my tongue? For example, you have 1 glass of water and a half glass of water, and you put 1 tablespoon of sugar in a 1 glass of water, and you put 1 tablespoon of sugar in a half glass of water. When you stir them together, of course, the 1 glass of water and a 1 tablespoon of sugar will be dissolved faster because it has 1 glass of solvent, or meaning there is a lot of solvent. But in a half glass of water with a 1 tablespoon of sugar will be dissolved slower because it has less amount of solvent. So that's how the amount of solvent affect the solubility of a solute. The last factor that affects solubility is the size of a solute. So the size of a solute really affects the solubility. For example, if you have a solute that is hard, or it is soft, or it is powder, or it is whole, so of course the soft one and the powdered one will be dissolved easily, while the hard one and the whole one will not be dissolved easily. So that's how it affects the solubility of a solute. Its size really affects the solubility. For example, when you dissolve a powdered sugar, the usual sugar that we are using in our coffee, and a hardened sugar, of course, the powdered sugar will be dissolved easily compared to a hardened sugar. So that's how the size of a solute affects the solubility. So don't forget, as temperature rises, solubility increases. And don't forget our universal solvent, and that is water. So that's all for today's video, guys. I hope you learned something new today, and if you learned something new today, please share this video to your classmates and to your friends. Thanks for watching. See you in our next video. Bye for now.